Hey, have you been out detecting and seen people use different shovels, different digging shovels? Have you seen them use different hand tools and wondered what's up? You know, why one shovel versus another shovel? Why one hand tool versus another? Well, in this video, I'm going to share some considerations you're going to want to think about when either picking your digging shovel, your digging hand tool, or maybe even upgrading to a new shovel or a new hand tool. One thing you're going to want to think about is whether or not your digging implement is acceptable for your hunting area. A major no-no, right? A major violation of hunting etiquette is to use any kind of a shovel in a local park. This attracts unwanted attention, right? Even if we are digging to the best of our ability, taking great care to close our plugs, right? It just may draw unwanted attention and do more damage than when we intend. Not necessarily to the hole, but to the perception of the hobby. So make sure, first of all, to never take a shovel into a public park. Okay, another item to think about is the likely depth of the target that you're going to be hunting. So when I'm hunting in fields, I'm hunting an area where the soil's really soft, where I just think the target's going to be digger. I actually will take a shovel that either has a longer blade that helps me get deeper. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to actually show you my Black Adda shovel. Okay, this is the Black Adda. I really enjoy this shovel. One of the things I really like about this shovel are the pedestals right here, right? These actually allow my blade to reach a greater target depth. So when I actually look at the depth of the blade, right? A lot of times, if you're placing your foot on the top of the actual blade or spade, right? That's as far as you can go, but these pedals allow me to get another 3-4 inches in depth. Okay, this may seem obvious too, but you want to think about the ground conditions. When I'm digging in very soft, very moist soil, the Black Adda might work perfectly. But you know, in the summer months, when the ground here in Wisconsin gets rather dry, I'm gonna pick an implement with a different type of serration, a different type of edge. And this is why I might use a shovel like this. This is actually from Excalibur shovels, and I really like this. So first of all, you can see it's a little shorter than my Black Adda. I'm gonna tell you, it's also lighter. But I like how this is serrated on both edges. It does have a fairly deep blade, but I am placing my foot right on top of the actual blade, on top of the spade in this case. But again, my main consideration here is the fact that this is sharp. It's serrated on both edges, and I'm going to definitely use this in those drier months when that ground is pretty hard. Okay, yet another consideration for the type of shovel I may be digging with is whether or not I'm traveling. When I travel, of course, I can't take a shovel on my carry-on bag, so this is something I have to check. And depending upon the size of my luggage, this actually will prevent me from, in many cases, taking my Black Adda or my Excalibur Sur K, as it's called. So in those instances, I've used another shovel, in this case my little digger. Let me show you this shovel. This is my little digger, and as you can see, it is shorter indeed than my Sur K, my Excalibur shovel, and it is shorter than my Black Adda. It's also, of course, very light. It does happen to be serrated on both edges, and it'll get the job done. It'll get the job done. I've taken this to some events on the plane with me, and it's held up nicely. Okay, so I've touched on these. Of course, you're going to want to take into consideration the handle type, maybe weight, and overall length, but quality. Overall quality is another key thing. You know, I'm not sure what I'm embarrassed about more, the fact that somebody made this next shovel or the fact that I actually bought it when I started metal detecting. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and let me show you why quality and build type is also really important too. So these are the 3 shovels we just looked at. This is actually the first shovel I bought. I bought it in a hurry. I didn't really pay close attention. It's quite heavy, but really here's the issue. Just a really inferior design. I think one of the very first times I dug this, placed it in the hole, the actual spade here bent on me. So this is not a review of the different shovel manufacturers. I've mentioned a few names, but make sure to do your homework. Make sure it's a quality product. You know, do consider the overall weight, the length, the handle type, whether or not, you know, you do or do not need a serrated edge on both sides, how long, how deep you need to dig, that type of thing. And of course, as I said, make sure it's permissible to use a shovel in that location in the first place. Okay, very quickly. So what do you do in those areas where you can't use a shovel? Or in those instances where you are using a shovel, do you complement it with a hand digging tool? Let me share with you some of the different tools that I've used and continue to use now in those occasions. All right, so a few things. Here too, you're gonna want to consider weight. You're also gonna wanna understand, you know, hand grip, is this comfortable? There are differences in the sizes of hand grips, okay? This is really important, as well as the length of the actual blade itself. Make sure that the item you're picking does have the ability to fit onto a belt loop, perhaps the strap for your finder's bag. That's really important as well. But for me, I think one of the key things to consider here is again, the type of serration on the blade. So these will differ, not just in terms of blade length, okay, but whether or not there's a serration on both sides. Why might this matter? Well, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, pay attention to how you actually dig a plug. You know, I notice when I dig my plug, I actually, you know, put my trowel in the ground and I start to dig in a clockwise fashion. That's not going to help me if my serration is on the wrong side, if the serrated part of my blade is on the opposite side. So depending upon where I'm digging, if I'm digging and the ground is really dry, I may take my White's digger. I like the fact that it's serrated on both sides. In other instances, I'm going to stick with my Hori knife, and I'll use my shovel, maybe to dig my primary plug and so forth. And if I need additional digging, right, the Hori knife is a wonderful alternative. I do wish this was serrated on both sides. Not been able to find one that actually meets those requirements. So there's a variety of manufacturers, makers of these as well, but consider some of the items I mentioned. And one last thing I want to share with you. This is a new purchase, and you can see I have not even used it. This is also from Excalibur Shovels. What I like about their products is you can customize the type of shovel. They have the ability on their website where you can customize the length, the type of blade, that kind of a thing. And this actually will fit partially in my finder's pouch. And you know, when I need just a little bit more here, where I feel comfortable, I'm not drawing attention to myself, where it's permissible, you know, to use a little bit of a bigger digging tool, I'm going to take this with me along on that hunt. Okay, so those are just a few considerations, a few reasons why you will see me, maybe you'll see others, use different types of shovels, different types of hand trowels during our digs. I hope this is helpful. Listen, I'm not affiliated with any of the brands, the manufacturers that I mentioned. They just happen to be some of the ones that I use. So was this helpful for you? If so, let me know. Please drop a comment in the section below the video. Do you have some other tips, other considerations that are important to you? If so, share those. Let us all know. And please do me a favor, if you like these videos, take a moment and subscribe. It will really help the channel. And remember, all the profits from this channel are donated to the Wounded Warriors Project. So thank you so much for watching. Happy digging. We'll see you on the next video.